America, Iran, and the struggle for the crown of global power. Brothers and sisters, this message is not meant for the comfortable. This message is not meant for the distracted. This message is meant for those willing to look beyond headlines, beyond propaganda, beyond the carefully crafted stories that shape the modern world. For generations, America has presented itself as the guardian of freedom, the defender of democracy, the shield protecting civilization from chaos. But brothers and sisters, every empire in history has believed itself to be the hero of its own story. Today, we look at Iran not through the lens of propaganda, but through the lens of history, geography, and power. They told you Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction that threatened the entire world. They told you Muammar Gaddafi was a mad tyrant whose removal would liberate his people. They told you Bashar al-Assad represented a moral line that could not be crossed. And now, they tell you Iran is the next global danger, the rising power that must be contained. Yet history whispers something different to those willing to listen. The invasion of Iraq was justified with intelligence that later proved deeply flawed. Libya collapsed into chaos. Syria became a graveyard of empires. To understand why Iran is next, we must step away from emotion and step into geography. Iran is not simply a country. It is a crossroads of civilizations. Ancient Persia connected east and west long before modern nations existed. The Silk Road was not simply a trade route, it was a lifeline. And geography, brothers and sisters, does not change. Today, Iran borders the Strait of Hormuz. Roughly 1/5 of the global oil supply passes through that narrow waterway. Energy is not simply fuel, energy is power. Iran sits atop some of the largest oil and gas reserves in the world, second in gas reserves globally. But energy alone is not what makes Iran central to global tension. It is what Iran represents in a changing world. For decades, the global economy has revolved around financial systems heavily influenced by the United States, specifically the dominance of the US dollar. But today, across Eurasia, massive transport corridors are being constructed. Railways, highways, and shipping routes designed to connect the Indian Ocean to Russia and Europe. When trade routes shift, power shifts. Iran is not just participating in these emerging alliances, it is the geographic keystone. The United States has seen moments like this before. When Germany and Japan rose, America responded with tariffs and financial pressure. Today, President Trump threatens secondary tariffs on any nation trading with Iran. But China alone accounted for over 90% of Iran's oil exports recently. The world is adapting. For over 70 years, American global power has rested on three pillars: dominance of global financial systems, influence over energy trade, and military control of key maritime routes. If alternative financial systems expand, if energy trades in yuan, rupees, or gold, the foundation weakens. The United States and Israel recently launched strikes that damaged Iran's nuclear infrastructure. The International Atomic Energy Agency says the landscape has changed radically, but the question remains, was this about nuclear weapons? Or about sending a message that no alternative power center is allowed to rise? Empires throughout history have faced this moment. The British Empire faced it. The Spanish Empire faced it. The Roman Empire faced it. Every empire eventually reaches the moment where maintaining dominance becomes harder than accepting transition. But empires rarely accept transition peacefully. They escalate, they sanction, they confront, they justify. They tell their people they are defending civilization itself. Brothers and sisters, the most dangerous moment in global history is not when one empire rises. The most dangerous moment is when one empire fears it is falling. America can adapt to a world of shared influence. America can compete through innovation instead of coercion. Or America can follow the path every declining empire has followed before it, confrontation disguised as necessity. The question is not whether Iran will influence the future. The question is whether humanity will allow power struggles between nations to shape that future through conflict or cooperation. Behind every war speech is a narrative. Behind every narrative is an agenda. Behind every agenda is the ancient human fear of losing control. History is watching this moment. History is measuring whether humanity has learned from the fall of past empires. The greatest weapon ever created is not a missile. It is not a bomb. It is a narrative that convinces ordinary people to support conflicts they do not fully understand. There is always a struggle for the crown. But the question history will ask is not which nation won that struggle. The question is, was the crown worth the price? Don't just consume the story, question the forces behind it. Subscribe for more deep dives beyond the propaganda.